All right. Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about Thursday, August 21st, 2025. Today we had Dynamic Effort Lower Body Day. Um, First thing, I'm just going to run through the program, what we did today. I have been dealing with some jumper's knee tendonitis, whatever you want to say, in my right knee. So I've been running I'm going to start. I've had his program for a while, Jake Tura's jumper's knee protocol. So added in some of it. If it does not work, it's because I'm not running it perfectly as is. And I know that that's big on his thing, was like just run program by program, stuff like that. But anyway, did now the programming on this I will say is a little bit weird on isometrics, which I could just put as more of a note, but I make sense because I'm programming for myself. If I were to program it for a client or something like that, I would definitely make sure it makes more sense, just based off looking at it. But basically, what it is here: 3 sets at 30 seconds. At RP7, it's just kind of required because it's set as a conditioning thing. There's definitely probably ways around it, but I am still learning. Anyway, we did single leg wall sits, which we'll get into, foam roller bridge with two-legged, double-legged, whatever. Then we did our reverse hypers, sled sprints, but we only did them at 10 yards instead of 20 yards today. For a time, and two, me and the GAs kind of just decided that's what we were going to do. So then we had Yukon bar versus bands, 8x3 at 50% of what we did Monday on our 1RM, which I ended up going with just 280 because I never actually hit anything over 275, but 290 almost went, but not quite. So I just kind of gave it a nice mid-range there. Then we had belt squat, 8-second eccentrics for a 3x6 at 310 pounds, pistol squat to body weight, or pistol squat to box with body weight, prone banded leg curls, and then some vocal pulls and suitcase abs. That was what we had today. Now, going through the actual videos here. First off, this is the single leg wall sit for that nice tendon. The right knee is what I did first, and definitely one, as you can see in my facial expression there, which it's not loading for some reason. There we go. I should try to drop this hip a little bit more to get a little bit better of a 90-degree angle, but it was actually very intense still, and we're barely 15 seconds in. I'm clearly burning a little bit there. I'm not going to watch this whole thing, but I did end up switching 30 seconds each side. Started with the bad leg and got through that there. Just again, keep trying to stay at about a 90-degree angle. Need to drop the hips a little bit more, but that's kind of a progression I can use into it, as well as time and even adding load. Then the foam roller bridge double leg. This had my calves destroyed actually. And then once again, I did not rotate my phone. I apologize. I did that in the last couple exercises, which you'll see, but those were assistants. Not as big a deal to watch those. Skipping through this. So biggest thing here, making sure to contract those calves. You're going to be hitting the soleus muscle a little bit more because that knee is bent, getting into a little bit deeper into those calf muscles. And my calves sitting right here, actually right now, just flexing them, are a little tight still. But that's good because they're probably just not getting used a whole lot. Especially I don't do a whole lot of um, seated calf work, bent knee calf work, anything like that. So definitely pretty good. If I can build that lower leg strength with my goal of being able to dunk, probably would be beneficial. Anyway, moving on, reverse hyper. We ended up doing 100 pounds, just slapped on some 5 just for a little bit of progression. We've watched these for 2.5 weeks now, 2 weeks now, so going to go through, just worrying about squeezing the glutes at the top. Yeah, that's pretty much it. 20 reps on these. There's all mostly just warm-up type movements, activation, whatever you want to say. And then we get into some sled sprints. Have a couple reps on these. Definitely still need to improve my sprint technique, which I think everybody probably could use a little bit. But I'm still getting newer, more acquainted with the sprints and the jumps and plyometric type actions. So that will be kind of the progression, hopefully, this kind of documents, which would be really interesting to see. But anyway, go ahead and watch this one right here. Gearing up and see how long this takes me. Yeah, I look very not good on those. So that's something interesting to see there. Sprinting back, apparently. Full screen. Try to get a little bit better leg drive here. But yeah, no, it just, one, angle, not great, to be honest. I would much rather be at a more of a perpendicular angle to get a better view of kind of what I'm kind of looking like. But just to document that I did them, those are that. Did 6 reps, 10 yards. And yeah, at 45 pounds, sled plus 45. So don't actually know the total weight. I think the sled's 45. Could be wrong. Could be not, I guess. But anyway, getting into the meat and potatoes of the workout, the Yukon barbers bands. Oh, and I got sorry. Gonna go here, go full screen. I really tried more vertical shins today. Like I was saying, I would like to get when I said that Monday. So we'll see if I actually achieve that. Um, Moved most of these at point 0.8 today, which I was really, really happy with actually. Watching here. Depth was solid. Shin angle's not terrible. I think it slowly does progress, but this is really, really nice here. I like to see that hip joint there. And actually I found out a new tool today right here. And then again, I would like the shin angle to be more like this. But that didn't quite happen this set. This is still not terrible right here, but again, I would like to personally see, I'm trying to have a more vertical shin angle. That's kind of my personal goal at the moment, trying to sit the hips back and stuff like that. But this is pretty solid, so I'm happy with this. And honestly, my anthropometry, whatever the freak that word is, might just not let it happen. But my build, that's probably a better word. But I liked that set there. I think I recorded a few sets, and we're going to probably watch a couple of these here. Hopefully I didn't record the one, but there was a point that I was at the bottom of a squat. One of the GAs said something. We had a pretty fun session today, and I got a little distracted here, but I don't think I actually recorded that one. Walkout was decent. I progressively get my better walkout throughout, so this angle is actually much better. It's a lot more on the side. Depth was solid. My shin ankle is really not too bad at all there, actually. Now that I'm able to see it on this other side. Cool. Gonna slow this one down, actually. 0.05 or 0.5. And let's get here to where I'm walked out. I'm ready to go. Here we go. And then I'm just gonna get my drawing tools just in case. I felt pretty good about all of these squats today, to be honest. There was a couple that were a little slow. That's my bottom depth right there. Back that up just a tad. Again, gonna bring up my ruler. My knees roughly right there. And about my crease of my hips probably there, which is not terrible. My crease of the hip might actually be even lower. And then knee is cool there. Again, I can't quite see where the bar path is versus to my midfoot just with this current angle, but might try to work on that next week. Maybe try to get some different angles throughout my squats. Could be something I could try to do. And rotate my camera like I've said I've been going to try to do, but I have not, which I apologize once again. So I'm going to go ahead and skip through that. Probably going to just let the last set play. Here I'm just going to kind of just look through these that other way. Was my depth a little shallow there? Nope, pretty solid there. And you can actually see on this angle a little bit better. My bar path is not terrible relative to my foot, I guess. It's just, again, the angle's not quite there with the camera. But it looks like it was pretty solid still. Again, this line's making it not. But again, I think it's the camera angle more than anything. But I'm really liking, like I said, the shin angles are much, much better. I guess it's not quite that. The shin angle's more right there. But much better than the other day. And then I think I'm already on the way up on this squat. Not quite going up. But yeah, or at the bottom. But depth was really much, much better. Again, the load definitely plays a factor. Probably went a little heavy last week. Monday, excuse me. But yes, anyway, going to skip through these. We're just going to go ahead and let this last set play that I have recorded. Excuse that. Skipping through here. You're going to go watch this walk from here. The walkout. 1, 2, 3, 4. I definitely am starting to get my walkout a little bit better, which I'm happy with. Exploding up to the top there. Nice. Hips push back. Good. I almost see. Yeah, I liked those a lot. Like I said, these squats felt really, really good today. I felt pretty awesome. Wasn't happy with that set, apparently. I think I actually fell off of my speeds on that set, if I'm remembering correctly, which is not a huge deal. My goal was at least 0.6 plus, and most of my sets or reps today were at 0.8. We'll probably just watch one of these. Not much to see here. Ooh, wrong one. See, I'm still learning. Moving on Can we see myself going down? There we go. So again, these were 8-second eccentric. 3, 4, 5, 6. Might have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dang. My internal clock when I'm actually doing these is much, much faster, apparently. Still not terrible. Let's see. Started at 52. So it was actually like a 4.5-second eccentric. So not quite 8. Working on that next week. I think 8 seconds is apparently a lot longer than I originally thought. And when you got the weight on, it definitely feels a lot different. Again, these all sets look pretty similar. That slowed down a little bit to the top there. Luckily, that was on the last rep, but these felt pretty good. Got the quads bumping. Now, once again, had to do a split session, unfortunately, which is fine, though. Did all of this in one session, and then luckily I was able to come back. It was about 2:30 when I hit the rest of my session. And you see I've changed into pants. But not a big deal there. I had class at 12:30 to 2:20, human physiology lab, which is okay. Was okay. I'm gonna go full screen here. Pistol squats, which has been my. I forgot to get me a plate here. I think there we go. So this is kind of my kryptonite at the moment. My single leg strength, especially these pistol squats with my ankle mobility, is a little rough. Kind of plopping down. Definitely feel like these were better than last week for sure. It felt a whole lot better. I would like to say that my knee was giving me a little bit of discomfort on the first set. However, throughout the rest of the sets, I think it's 3x6 each leg. It did start to feel a lot better. And they're just feeling better overall than the first week. My balance was a little bit not there today, though, unfortunately, but that's okay. Nothing crazy there, so I'm actually going to go ahead and move on. This video's already running a little bit long. Then we had our prone banded leg curls. Definitely not a whole lot to see here besides me not being able to get into it. I tried a little bit more to try to not pop up my glutes. Apparently, I did not do that good of a job. Over here, the basketball team is actually training right now, so I was kind of checking them out. The men's basketball team, that is, with Coach TD. There, I tried to slow down a little bit and not flex the glutes, and then it got a little heavy again. But anyway, that's okay. Not too bad. There, got some good hamstring flexion knee flexion. Then we did our Vogel pulls, which we did last time, and I believe these were recorded as well. And I finally decided, I should probably flip the camera for YouTube, and I did. So again, just on the accessories, but that's okay. Skipping ahead, and I actually really like these. Starting to feel a pretty good pump. I definitely had forgotten to, on a few of these reps throughout, move this camera out of the way, to pop up as much as I seen right there. I kind of just halfway came up a few reps, which I need to get better at on that. But again, not too big of a deal. Still making a slight effort to bring my chest up a little bit. But again, these do really feel like really nice, actually. Words. Out in front, the stretch is not crazy just because it kind of deloads as I lengthen my arms out. But when I'm up in the full contraction there, it actually feels really good. And again, it's just all for trying to build that upper back, build that shelf. The posterior chain is what kind of the main goal is of conjugating the west side and all that good stuff. So that has been most of the program. So then we went into these suitcase abs, weighted side bends, whatever you want to call them. And I ended up moving up to 65 from 60 pounds last week, which we can see with our history right here, 60 pounds. And then we went to 65. And I will say, I am going to be absolutely destroyed. My obliques will be destroyed tomorrow morning probably, or if not, tomorrow is Saturday. Today's Thursday. Because last week when I did these was 60. I don't train the frontal plane very often, and now that I have, it destroyed me last time. So I'm hoping it's not too bad. Going to do tomorrow's workout, which will be max effort upper body floor press, which I'm actually pretty excited about that. That should be pretty fun. I think it was floor press. I would have to double check, but it should be because we did that for Diamond Effort. But anyway, hopefully this does not affect the GPP session because the last Saturday when I posted that, I was a little bit sore, a lot of bit sore actually during that GPP session, but I got through it. Switching sides here. biggest thing here is I was just really trying to like reach for the ground with that dumbbell and then think about pulling with the other side versus just swaying back and forth. Now I probably got a couple lazy throughout some of these reps as I fatigued, but I was really trying to think about pulling through that opposite oblique, and it seemed to work pretty well, and it definitely is working because, like I said, I was destroyed last time on those obliques. But besides that, that's all we have today for the training. Difficulty about a 3. Really wasn't too bad today. Nothing crazy heavy. Those 8-second eccentrics, those kind of suck, but got through it. Fatigue felt really good today, actually. I said that tendonitis in the knee has been, that's all self-diagnosed, by the way, but the jumper's knee, that's probably a better way to call it without sounding so official. Um, Definitely bothered me a little bit. It has been. I think that's just from the extra things going on and stress potentially from this week. Um, but gonna get through it. I don't really think stopping training is really necessary at the moment. Duration roughly a total of 65 minutes, which is not bad at all. Checking the metric list, difficulty has been about a 3 for most of our training sessions. Duration has, I also went and updated those instead of putting 1.5 or 1.15 like I had in the past, or 1.25, I guess. But it's GPP session. And then, yeah, so we're been pretty average, about an hour. It's kind of where our average is, hour to 70 minutes, which is pretty nice. Fatigue levels have been pretty solid. Again, we had a high day here, and I just added these fatigue metrics to my own training. So not many data points, but we'll be interested to see how that plays out through the rest of the semester. Maybe with some stressful midterms or things like that could potentially raise those fatigue levels. Be sure to check those out. But anyway, that has been the video, and I thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which will be tomorrow on August 22nd for dynamic, max effort upper body day. All right, I'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.